Interview Graham in the North Ward. Azo's own records showed that he sometimes forced patients to undergo experiments even when they were unwilling. One patient from the North Ward, Graham, was a frequent test subject. Graham may be able to shed light onto whether Azo has been working with the leaden key. I received the key to the North Ward from Azo. He was not pleased to give it. Hey, you want to open the door that sits full of monsters? It sounds like fun. Hooray. I can figure out it. Do I have to talk to you? I only warned once. After that, it's your skin. Is that not how you get to the North Ward? Is this the North Ward? It's a little ambiguous. They're northeast and northwest wards. Because the games are always diagonal. Actually, that's not entirely true. Technically, this could be north, and that could be west, and that could be east, and that could be south. I don't know. Is there a compass? Anywhere? In the entire game? This wouldn't be useful because, for all I know, this map could still be north, south, east, west, but then individual maps, when I get to them, could be rotated perspective, while this map is not a rotated perspective. So I can't really tell from here. But also, this doesn't have a compass. Doesn't have a scale either, for that matter, and the part of me that had to make maps to get through college is freaking out a little bit about that. Because I'm like, that's the two mandatory parts of a map. You need a compass and you need a scale. Because you need to be able to tell people what direction this map is facing and also how big it is. But it's a video game, so it's whatever. And also every single... Well, not all the maps, not these maps, but every world we visit is the same scale. But that's not technically true for the map itself, because the map zooms in and out based on how big the screen is and all that. But anyway, I don't really expect maps to have scales in video games. But where's my compass? Where's my compass? As far as I can tell, these are not compass directions. These little these I used to know what those are called. They're like the Boy Scouts arrow thing with the little fleur de lis. Is it the fleur de lis? Fucking French words that I can't remember. I don't think those are cardinal directions because they're just telling me that I can move the map more in that direction, because when I reach the top boundary, only the bottom ones show up and stuff like that. Anyway, there's all to say, that's why I went to the wrong door, I guess. Huh? Also, the guy was like, don't go in there, so I thought that was the North Ward. But I guess it just is some area that's overcome by monsters, I guess. Can I do a mission to help them with that? Who's that? Is this my face? Tell me. Okay. Extreme. I can't click on this door, that's weird. Oh, this is a Graham. This man has the look in his eyes of a hunted animal, and at your approach he staggers backward to the far corner of the cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls if it would get him farther away from you. He cries out, a bizarre primal utterance like nothing you've ever heard. You can't hide from me, leaden key spy! Just goes 0 to 100. He's not spying very well if he's trapped and being tortured. I need to ask you some questions. Graham looks at you blankly. It is unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic has momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern, if indeed they are words at all. Elelth makes a noise of disgust. Those animancers did this to him. You can see what comes of their meddling. Azo ran experiments on you against your will, didn't he? He looks at you with uncertainty. Slowly, tentatively, he steps closer to the front of his cell. And as he does so, for the first time you can perceive his soul within your ken. It is misshapen, as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. You feel no barriers of resistance. If you wanted to, you could look further into Graham's soul. Herein. You project out toward the maimed soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks you into its depths. You're in your cell. A key turns. The door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves. Incomplete. Broken. Fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else. If your mind is a single word, and the word is no. But it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back of the wall, cornered. You cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meager flame casting long shadows across books and machinery. Straps bind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work, and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. Then he turns a knob, and you feel yourself begin to crack from within, and you can feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides clawed, chewed by a horde of rats, and you are screaming a scream you can barely hear. Another night, heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through a slit in the door. The flesh giant, the artificial being, just outside, but facing left. Facing the end of the hall. The boy there. The boy looks with interest at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment, then rights itself, turns away, and leaves. The idea of somebody's body being shed like a snakeskin. Okay, so I think the guy that we heard about, the villain of the game, who can supposedly change bodies on the fly, I think he walked in here as a little boy, and then he switched to the flesh giant. So at least at the end of this story, the flesh giant is currently being inhabited by a very bad man. That's not good. I don't know if they could still be here. Graham looks at you, still wild-eyed, but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell. It seems like he is maybe aware of the fact that now I know what happened. I've seen what I wanted to see, even though he couldn't speak to me. Is there a boy back here? Still? Not at the moment. Thundering sky, rain of blood, innocents must drown. Ah, they seem to be the violent patients. Usgrim. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement. It is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. It's supposed to be an adolescent boy? That's a full-size man character model. Don't they have kids in this game? That kid that wanted a knife, he probably looked like a kid, right? In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. Yeah, I think this was the leaden key acolyte. I think he possessed this body, came in to infiltrate the asylum, and then jumped bodies into one of the flesh golems and could be anywhere now. Reach out for his soul. You close your eyes and edge forward toward the boy's soul, and as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into the interminable abyss of thought and memory. You are standing in a cell now, the same cell, in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds, the same stops every time, the misbegotten child of its despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body, as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You're rushing toward the golem now, bound, bodiless, and it's a gust of wind. Quickly, you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel, you are strong again. So it seems to be that that's his weak spot. If you can keep him out of a body long enough, it seems like his strength will hemorrhage until he's maybe useless or even maybe non-existent eventually. But these souls can't sustain themselves outside of bodies. And so there's a toll. He has to recharge whenever he changes bodies because the act of changing bodies is dangerous. You step heavy-footed down corridors unheeded by the other constructs, and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad. Coming, at last, to an office piled with books and scribbled papers, and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you're outside, on a clear day, standing in front of a cloud stacked high above you, on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with a rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine. The one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl. But this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. The man speaks, and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. But the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe, as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through the tube along a length of copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading this work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark, and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back at the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there is obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, then another, and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. How do you feel? He asks, at a volume meant for the crowd. And this is the moment. At the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hands outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, the body has already ceased proper function, merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? Shit. Wow. That's some careful sabotage. So if we assume that this is the villain, which I'm going to call him that because it's hard to remember his name. I've forgotten it for now. And the villain is fitting enough of a name because we can probably safely assume he's the villain, at least for now. We've gained information that he may be so old that he dates back to he's like a Prothean. Like he dates back to the previous entire generation of civilizations. And those people seemed to have mastered animancy. And so he has a great power in animancy, and it seems like his greatest weaknesses are people knowing stuff about animancy, essentially. Like him jumping from body to body, he hemorrhages his strength and stuff like that. Like there's risks, and he's like a vampire that's been around for thousands of years. He's like carefully aware of what the few things are that actually do threaten his basically immortality. And based on that, it seems like he wants to sabotage all progress with animancy because he doesn't want this civilization to catch up with what his previous civilization knew. Because as long as this civilization, like this global civilization, just all of them combined, as long as all of these people are in the dark and kept back on their technology, and they're afraid of progressing, and everything goes wrong and so on, he can continue to be this all-powerful being that nobody else can threaten because nobody else is on his level, because he's essentially like a guy from the future sent back to caveman times with all of his technology. You are pulled again from the surroundings, transcending the boundaries and memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond moral comprehension. You settle at last to a room that you've seen before, expansive, with a tall device encasing an Adrian monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There is no mistaking now that it is the soul of Theos, Ix a Canon, the man you've been searching for, that gazes out from that borrowed husk. A watcher. Well, shit, here he is. Here's our first interaction with him. I believe we share a common past. I'm just looking for some answers. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he was about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look. You hunger. Hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with a startling grace, putting himself out of reach. Out of reach? Wasn't he behind the door the whole time? I thought he was over there and we were over here and there was a closed door between us. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly, he slumps forward. That's not good. That seems bad. Cannot save while in combat. I would really prefer not to murder everybody if I could avoid it. If we could just like run, run. This is not a good strategy. I don't think the let's try not to kill everybody option's gonna work out. Oh, there's so many of them. Not only that, but I think they, yeah. I think I don't know if any version will work, but one thing that would have helped is if I turned everyone's AI off. Because the moment somebody attacked them, they probably started fighting back. Which is good normally. It's not good now. Have I not talked to Graham yet in this quick save? No, we've already talked to Graham in this state. This is why it's really nice when a game quick saves or lets you quick save before the fight starts. I'll try to hit F5 right when the dialogue ends, because there was like some people walking around cutscenes. No, I still couldn't quick save. I was hitting it constantly. Alright. Did it turn off everyone's AI? Oh yeah, because no one was selected, so I turned everyone's AI off. That's good. Let's try this again. I'm just curious to see if I can escape, because it'd be nice to not murder everybody, because these are people. But that didn't work last time. Well, I wasn't trying to escape last time, but last time I tried not to kill everybody, it was ineffective. Okay. Are you guys stunned right now? Like all of you? Wow, lots of deep wounds. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. It's not working so hot. Yep. Yep. No. No. Nope. It was worth a look. I was curious. I've just been trained by certain games to try to avoid the bad. Like I think of the Therion was, I think was what it was called in Mass Effect 1. And the Thorian in Mass Effect 1. And how it's mind controlling everybody. Alright, well, I can at least intentionally face the backwards direction by cheating. Well, let's do a fight. Yeah, I think of the Thorian in Mass Effect 1 where you can knock out all of the mind-controlled people so that they'll survive. And things like that. Nope. I think I'm going to be known as the guy who killed everybody at the asylum, and that's going to be unfortunate. Oh well. You get on him, and all of you get on him. Okay, you activate tank mode, because there's a lot of people around. Like a lot of people around. There's a good time for us to instill some negative effects on people. And positive effects. No. Let's center that better. Yeah, we can get like the whole party. Especially if I tell Sagani to run over here. There you go. Fight the same person as your pet. There we go. Oh, those are vessels. I should have better cast the anti-vessel spell on them. It's fine. This should be a pretty easy fight, honestly. Part of why I was trying to get away with not dying and not killing everybody in it. And now we will loot the murdered asylum patients. Because we're good people. Just loot the bodies, Jesus. There we go. It's so weirdly hard to click on bodies sometimes. It just wants to click on all your party members. Even though it's weird sometimes because like sometimes my characters are clearly over like over here and the body's like over here and I click on the body and instead of looting it, they run to it. And then I have to get them to get off of it so I can click on it. It's like I don't know. They can almost use a different button for interact than the same one they use for selecting people and giving them orders. Oh well. Well, is there gonna be more of that, or... Oops, whoa. I think I double quick saved. Oh, no, there's more of them. Okay. Try to get everyone... Yeah, I got everyone outside. Uh-oh. That's not good. Hey, can you tank, please? Thank you. We've attracted some additional attention. There we go. That's good. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Did I forget to loot the bodies? Can I loot the bodies? Nope. Those are really distressing. They are like these nightmare skinless golems. Like, like as much as the bad guy is artificially curbing animancy progress, apparently, there still is the concern that like these guys are they're still made nightmare flesh golems, which are like, let's go. It's kind of a tough sell. Man, he's really spiteful. He just went around and killed all the characters. Including that character I never spoke to. That was named. I was just being hesitant about talking to that character because, you know, they were like, don't agitate the patients and stuff like that. So I was worried about agitating the patients. But now they're dead, I think. Is this guy still in here? Because, shit's fucked, yo. What have you done? You've been experimenting on patients against their wills, mangling their souls. I have witnessed it with my very own eyes. Azo's face drains of what little color it had. How could you possibly... Look, it had to be done. Ethelmore and the others, they took everything from me. Everything. When I was this close, I had to know. I had to know where I failed and why. Imagine the value if I'd succeeded. I had something that could make all those hollow infants into something like a real person. And with a few more patrons and a few years' research, who knows? No one has to come that close. No one has come that close with legacy. It's why I have to continue. Why I have to risk everything here. working in secret. It's why you have to lie to Ethelmore for me. Tell him you've cleared me of all suspicion. Interestingly, before he started doing the experiments on the poor guy in that cell, I think the thing that we saw about the girl who bashed her head against the machine until she died, I think that was even sooner. So like, I think that happened. I think that thing happened. Then he got everything taken away because of his failure, and then he started doing the experiments he's not supposed to be doing. I'm going to expose you for what you are.
Then I can't let you get in my way either.
Oh, that's adorable. You've chosen poorly.
Quick.
Oh, they're both quest items. Him being dead could be bad news. This game's so heavily about the Wadwin's legacy that there might be some kind of like Mass Effect 3 style check of like certain elements in the game that that increase or decrease your ability to defeat the legacy, if that's where they want to go with this. And so him being alive, despite everything, probably improves your chances if they go that direction with the story. But he attacked me, and that's just a really bad idea. I'm close to a breakthrough. I found an ample source of essence now, and the vessels have responded positively to infusion with the proxy. Human trial to the next logical course. Graham's record. Subject is male, approximately early 30s. Powers of speech absent, presumably a result of overfragmenting of the soul. As such, he's an ideal. Yeah, we've already read that one. Is that the one that was added? Yeah. It was a duplicate of the previous one.
I can do that. That's settled.
Blade Golan. Light armor. Plus 50 defense when stunned, plus 50 defense when prone. 50% reduced stun and knockdown duration. Huh. Blade Golan, Wolfheart, is said to have been blessed by the Lord of the Hunt himself, a human hunter showing skill with a bow and arrow beyond any before seen, caught Galawain's attention one day. Galawain proposed a bargain. If the hunter could best him in a hunting contest, Galawain would present her with armor that would bestow upon her the power of a wolf. For a week, both hunters tracked their respective quarry through the woods, and when the contest was ended, the hunter who felled the most game... Oh, the hunter had felled the most game. True to his word, Galawain presented her with the wolf heart, which gave her the crafty and evasive nature of its namesake. I'll give that to you, and we'll compare it to whether or not it's upgrade for you, because it fits your character. It's a fitting item for the ranger to have. Raven Wing, one-handed mace. 3 DR bypass. Damaging 3, plus 45% damage. 4 accuracy when attacking the same target as an ally. 25% damage when attacking the same target as an ally. Ah. Give that to you, actually. Aren't you dual wielding right now? That seems like your style. Gotta keep all these items straight, though. Okay, so Whispers Yenwood, bonus Constitution, good against spirits. Grazes, these both have grazes converted to hits. But this has high damage and some DR. This one restores damage as endurance, which is a nice thing to have for a tank character. This one reducing will is not great. I think I want to remove Whispers of Yenwood. And make this my new main weapon, which has it do it on damage, 17 to 25. Wow. Yeah, it's a significant upgrade to switch to a weapon that's that heavily enchanted. So heavy damage, even more damage when sharing a target with somebody, which is likely, because I often put the melee people on the same target together, or at least somebody else is fighting that target with them. What is your chest? Because yeah, you have another roguey chest piece. Exceptional. 2 survival. Not much else, actually. Yeah. It's a fitting piece of equipment for her to wear. Nature's Embrace. Grants wood skin when crit. Which is just even more DR. Mostly weapons. Pierce burn slash shock. One of many pieces of equipment I can go for exceptional if I get the right setup. And all these different stat bonuses.
Huh?
Well, those were good finds. Pity that everyone's dead. I didn't mean to. It's just the bad boy villain decided to exterminate everybody. All of them. He's really mad at me. I figure this is my chance to check out the questionable part of the... Yep, it's open.
Hey.
I figured it would be.
Yeah.
Ah, it's just this one room.
Eyes open.
No, we've been most of these places. We should get into our formation. It's a bad call to just go running straight for the exit. There could be any number of bad things going this way. Ooh. Although people past this point might be alive. How you doing? Okay, she seems to have not even noticed that anything happened beyond that point. Modred. The head warden must be told what's going on down here. Okay, so someone's noticing. I'm getting out of here. It's not safe anymore. How did you get out? Oh, what if he's where the bad guy went? He could be in that body running off. He could be anywhere, that's the problem. Not going to be a very easy problem to deal with. The body hopper. We need a Ghostbusters machine to catch him. What the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. One of the options doesn't make sense. It says I had things under control until I killed the Leaden Key spy, at which point he possessed a flesh... I didn't kill him. I didn't do shit. Why would... It doesn't say lie around it either, although there's no reason to lie. It's just a weird, inaccurate statement. It's complicated. A patient of yours, Uskrim, was working for the Leaden Key, only without knowing it. You finish your explanation, and Ethelmore breaks the silence. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you describe. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest that they are all the same person. If truly such a person was here among us, plotting our ruin, would that I had a body again, and could be of real use in our time of need. I fear what future may hold for this place. I am grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. What? There was lots of innocent life just got lost. The dialogue keeps not reflecting what just happened. I am grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. Oh, a scandal. Everyone downstairs died. Well, everyone past that door. What of Azo? What part did his experiments play in this catastrophe? I confronted Azo. I was forced to kill him. He groans in disgust. Such a waste. There was none more gifted working here. In time, I had hoped to rehabilitate his image, but a mind like his, so full of ideas, leaves little room for patience. I would inquire more into this matter, but in truth you have done this institution a favor. Were his transgressions ever to reach the public, there would be a terrible uproar. I was blind to have trusted him a second time. His tone takes an ominous quality that reverberates all around you. I trust you will be more cautious in future inquiries.
Good day, stranger.
Well, howdy ho, how you doing? Good day, stranger. Well, shit. I'm gonna go back down. Let's probe that other quest that I've avoided until now, because I was hoping some other context might point us back towards it, but I might have to open that chest. There's just seemed to be reasons why not to do it, but at this point, we've pretty much depleted the entire town, and this entire building in particular. The big thing has happened here, so I think it's either we poke at this now, or it probably never comes up again. Open the trunk. A heavy lock holds the trunk shut. It's too sturdy to break, and the mechanism looks too complicated to pick. You'll need to find the key. Ah. You'll need to find the key.
Ready, Watcher. I'm on the trail.
A Granic benediction. That's not where the key is.
Greetings.
Never mind. Turns out I couldn't open the chest anyway. And he's not gonna... And he has no more dialogue. So I may have made a dialogue choice that just has moved on at this point, and we're not going back. Or it's just something that's just sort of waiting to come up in a future chapter, perhaps. Or maybe for once there's a locked chest you just don't open in the game, and it's just a bit of environmental context that never comes up again. Well, our trip into the sanitarium was eventful. Turns out it was our first encounter with the baddie. One-on-one moment where the moment where you lock eyes with the villain and you know him to be who he is, and he knows who you are, and all that. It's all been incidental or visions until now. I'm under the impression I'm supposed to visit with Lady Webb every single time I finish a main story mission at this point in the story. I'm gonna go take a little trip down here. So, Lady Webb can verify, does hop body, saw it happen, not a good time.
How fares your search? Well, let's hear it.
I found Theos in Brackenbury Sanitarium impersonating a patient. He was trying to damage the public's opinion on animancy.
Forgive me, it is unlike Theos to leave witnesses. He must be furious. He did not aid you as you'd hoped, I take it? Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep. This news of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods. This would not be the Leaden Key's first action against it. But if this is connected to their other activities, we may be in for something on a much larger scale. That isn't enough to take to the Duke, but we're close. Avar Wolfgren is a cautious man. He will want to know everything possible before being moved to action.
Alright, we have progress. And this is probably how I meet the leader, because they're currently in the middle of like a meeting that... I don't know, I'm not going to keep checking on it over and over again. I can only assume that's just ongoing, this hearing that's just going to keep going for weeks, apparently. Which, yeah, it's about animancy, right? So it's a big, complicated issue they're going to be arguing forever about. It might be about time for us to leave Defiance Bay. And not on a tentative, like, oh, I'll be right back when I finish this thing basis, but like actually be done here, aside from checking in on turn-ins and stuff. Turns out we have two visitors, a palace messenger and a bad visitor. Huh. These poor messengers, honestly. Really unfortunate for them. Am I building anything right now? I don't think I am. I wish they would reorder this menu so that everything that's completed is on the bottom of this of the order. Like everything that's completed gets sorted to the bottom, and whatever you're currently working on is sorted to the top, and everything you could work on is in the middle. Would be nice. Dare I have even more fame just so that I can then lose it more? A home is only as comfortable as its hearth. Restoring yours may return a semblance of order to the keep. Well. Yep, these poor visitors. Through Death's Gate. Yeah, it's back to Deerford. So we're done here for the moment. Ah. Right, the guy for the White March. That might be the person that's at the palace. I'm just thinking like, oh no, these poor messengers sent all the way to the palace to get me when which is like a day of travel. And I'm here. I'm in Defiance Bay. They could have found me in 15 minutes and moved on with their lives. But unfortunately, that's the day before cell phones. Sucked. It's gonna take me almost 24 hours to get there. Oh. Well, alright, class. We're in a little bit of a pause in the story where we've finished up everything in Defiance Bay at the moment, which was a huge undertaking. Sounds like a good time to return to Cadnua and Oddnua and make some real progress through some of those floors, since now I feel like I'm especially behind at doing so, since I spent so much time
Better indeed.
doing that. I paid 400 CP to my hirelings. Thankfully I'm at 23 grand, so I'm doing okay. Things are going okay. got some drunkard to deal with, so we'll start with that. There he is. Hey, just need a second of your time. Hello. Greetings, Lord. Yaskier, I mean. I was hoping to talk to you. I'm in a spot of trouble. The man's breath stinks of ale. Very well, let's hear it. You call your allies together and motion for the petitioner to step forward. Thing is, I've worked up a few debts in Deerford and a few other places. More than a few. I haven't got the coin, my lord. I'd pay it off if I could. I was thinking, maybe you'd know of someone looking to hire on or something. I'm willing to work. I know a way you can pay off your debt. I never did learn much of a trade. What'd you have in mind? Gaffol fidgets nervously. A test subject at Brackenbury. I mean, she seemed nice. She did unobtrusive, like, observational experimentation. I'm also not really clear on whether or not he'd be a test subject or just somebody to help her around the lab. I don't know. It's somebody it's the only option I have right now besides dismissing him, I guess. So we'll see what happens. I'll talk to Bella Sage at the Brackenbury Sanitarium. You can help her with her research. Like in tests, you mean? Suppose that ought to pay well, at least, right? He bows awkwardly. Thank you, I'll head out there as soon as I can. I don't have any other examples to go with. I don't know. Doesn't she only experiment on people that are awakened, which he's not? So he shouldn't really be a test subject, so he's probably gonna just help somehow. But they're gonna have to sort out him being adulting up and not being drunk the whole time so that he can actually, not constantly fuck it all up. That'd be good. Yeah. Pardon the intrusion, my lord. Chancellor Warren urgently requests you to meet him at the Charred Barrel in Brackenbury. God damn it. I was there in that neighborhood. Like, how did people survive without cell phones? Slowly is the answer. Remind me again who that is? Is this about Cadnua again? I don't know. My apologies, my lord. I am merely a messenger. Why isn't the Chancellor meeting me at the palace? Perhaps the Chancellor is meeting with you in an unofficial capacity. It happens from time to time. I'll meet the Chancellor when I can. The messenger bows and leaves. What if it's a fake out? The whole thing about Cadnoa is that someone's planning on stealing this place from me. I'm gonna not talk to my steward yet, because when I get back, she'll want to talk to me again anyway. That's not what I mean to say. I mean to say that I want to hold off and deal with that later. Do one thing at a time. You've got a lion.
Looks a little healthier than before.
A little healthier than before. I figure I'll be coming back to do the dungeon anyway, so that's when I'll talk to her and see what that is, and we'll depart to do that if I have to depart for something. In which case, we'll also do more construction along the way if I'm traveling a lot. I have 3 updates. Paid 400, 2 people left. Should still be in the middle of doing this because we didn't quite leave for long enough. Finished in 2 hours.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
What, did I lose one of them? Okay. I was not really sure what happened there. I'm torn about this party. Like, top row feels practically mandatory, including endurance. So it's almost like everyone's fighting for these last 2 slots. As far as my party composition and what I want in it. I mean, I could remove Pallegina and stuff like that, but I like her in the party. So it's kind of just me switching people out on a whim, but like, she's got a weapon that I'm trying to grind through the ranks of, and Aloth is a more recent addition a little bit. Yeah, Kana has not been in the party for a while. I'll take Kana with me whenever I go down into the depths of Adnua, though, because that's where his quest is. So I think he'll always be with me when I go that way. Inefficient. For 20 of these 22 hours, I'm not building anything. Yep, the hearth is constructed. Kind of just want to get a lot of the small ones out of the way. This will have stored the lab inside of Bright Hollow. We're making progress. Yeah. Look how much Aedra there is around here. The entire bank. The charred barrel. So he's meeting me with me on an unofficial capacity. There's a few different things it could be. One, it's a completely unrelated side quest where he's just asking for some help because I'm somebody he thinks he can work with, and he needs to keep it on the down low. Two, it's him updating me on a problem related to Cadnua because the guy's gonna go after me again or whatever. Or 3, the fun example in my head is the idea that, like, what if that official wasn't even actually sent by that guy? What if he was sent by the guy who wants to take the keep from me? And then in which case, he's specifically drawing me up to a place that's 1 day travel away from the keep so that he can then attack the keep while I'm too far away to do anything about it. That's my go-to example. But we'll see. Either way, this is a good time for a little bit of reading. Selected correspondences of Gift-Bringer Iden. Sing, O ocean waves, of Andra's sorrow, of her unrequited love for the unattainable moon. Sing of the ocean's sorrow, so that we may forget our own. Each day the tides reenact Andra's longing for the great moon. The waters reach out at high tide, yearning for the heavenly body, only to slump into low tide when the moon proves unattainable. You asked me once why I loved Andra so dearly, how I could go from a life on dry land to being a devotee of the goddess of the oceans. I sing of the ocean's sorrow so that I may forget my own. It is Andra's message that speaks to my heart. I have devoted my life to helping others discard painful memories, for that is the gift Andra gave me. When I lost my young granddaughter, my wife and I were inconsolable until a gift bearer offered to take my toddler's toys and cast them into the deepest waters. Truth be told, I, and the other gift bearers I know, have never even spoken to Andra. She is largely silent, and when she does speak, she uses floods and tidal waves instead of words. But we sing of the ocean's sorrow so that the others may forget theirs. Andra's story, the story of desire unanswered, actually matters to people like you and me. Magron cannot steer you to victory over sadness. Hylia cannot force joy down a crying throat. Only Andra can give us the strength to persevere when life seems without worth. And that is the answer to your question regarding why I love my goddess so dearly.